What's up, guys? Specstar here today with my final LD battle, and I'm gonna go a little quick on the recap, not a full showing of the team, and a little quick on the commentary because, of course, there is no long-term ramifications of this, as this is, of course, the last battle. So I'm going up here against Legits, and on paper it was gonna be an important game because I was in third place and he was in fourth place. Even though I should have been in first place of that damn Haxer Joe and his Joe Luck, you son of a turd. But if it wasn't for that. Anyway, if things didn't boil over, it would have been a significant game. Not so much now, but still a particularly interesting one. Third versus fourth place in LD in Majors. And he, for this matchup, brought a team consisting of Mega Charizard X, Landorus Therian, Suicune, Nihilego. I never got how to pronounce that mon because there's so many different ways you can do it with its vowels. And even I go back and forth between Nihilego. I'm just gonna go with Nihilego. That sounds better. It sounds a little bit more fancy and probably more correct. Persian Alola and Jirachi. And out of those mons, his Z users could be Landorus Therian, or it could be Persian. So let's just say I'm very suspicious of Landorus. That's what I'm looking at for it. And my team, I've got an Alakazam, which is 3 attacks and recover. I've got a Celesteela, which is Autotomize with Flyinium Z, Fire Blast, and Giga Drain. I got Tapu Fini, which is speedy with my favorite set, Nature's Madness, Moonblast, Taunt, and Moon. I was about to say Moonblast twice. Nature's Madness, Moonblast, Taunt, and god damn it! I bet it was something. You believe? I think it was Hydro Pump. I believe it was Hydro Pump. Anyway, as you can tell, that move didn't seem to have important ramifications in the battle if I can't even remember it. Piloswine, physically defensive, standard, good old Piloswine. Skuntank, which is going to be quite speedy. I invested a lot of speed on it for something that didn't quite come. Sorry, my nose gets runny when I work out, so I might have to do some wipes while I'm in this because I just got back from the gym. Pumping iron. You don't want to mess with these pythons. How do I get the camera? Whatever. You don't want to mess with these pythons. Yeah, these are threats. Sceptile, which is running Misty Seed Unburden. It's adamant, but nearly max speed investment, and of course attack with Swords Dance, Earthquake, Acrobatics, which Acrobatics is here for Pokemon that didn't come. I believe a grass type of his, possibly a bug type. Don't know, don't remember. And Leaf Blade in the last slot. So let's get this show on the road. Party time, right? He's going to lead Suicune. I'm going to lead Skuntank. Not exactly the matchup I was hoping for with Skuntank. I'm going to go right into Tapu Fini, which is designed to be an answer to Suicune. Why it's all the way max speed, just to make sure Coon is almost definitely not as fast as it, and it's definitely not faster. So I'm going to try and throw off some Nature's Madness. It weakens his whole team pretty damn well. He's going to go into his Mega Charizard X, and I'm going to go right out into my Piloswine because Char X coming in on Tapu Fini, he could try to play around with some ruse, but eventually he's got to be, and with the matchup I'm almost certain he's got to be Thunder Punch, or else why would it come out here? Piloswine takes that if he goes for it. If he doesn't go for it and he just opts to roost up, as you'll see he will, I'm able to get up rocks regardless. Rocks are worse for him than they are for me, so if it's a hazard stacking war, I'm going to end up winning that. Shadow. My little dog growling. Here's the culprit, but he goes into Suicune here as I get up my rocks. And I'm going to go back into my Tapu Fini, which basically any Suicune set it could be would not be a threat to my Tapu Fini, so I'm comfortable doing that. He's going to get me into Alakazam. I'm going to go right back into Tapu Fini. Not comfortable letting Zam get weakened yet, especially not fully knowing what Suicune's set is. And he goes for Protect again. It must be his favorite move. Sneakily and slowly, though, he is kind of wearing down on my Nature's Madness, so I might need to keep track of that if things get south to Stall Town. He's going to Scald me here, and I do get off some good damage on Suicune, which is nice. Based on his moves, he is likely having Protect as his only recovery. It wouldn't make sense for him to have Rest on this, so that chip is significant, especially with Rocks up. Makes it very reasonable to wear this Pokemon down. And I'm definitely comfortable with him spamming Roar with Misty Terrain up, because if he gets me in a Sceptile with Misty Terrain, that's well, I was gonna say it's setup, but I just said the thing had Roar. No, I'm not comfortable with that at all. Ignore that commentary. I'm gonna cut that shit out. I'm gonna taunt his Goon there as he opts to go for Scald. He will get the burn on Fini. First turn burn. The first time it could have burned, it burns. So I'm furious. I'm fuming at this point. And I will just opt to throw off my Moonblast as he goes into his Charizard. That thing, of course, will be forced to roost here. And I am going to go safely in a Piloswine. I have pretty solid defensive answers to the whole of his team, so I'm not going to get too aggressive anytime soon. He goes into Lando. I just clicked Earthquake, safest move. He goes into his Suicune here, and I believe I roared. Nope, I Ice Sharded. Just staying safe, right? I don't want to let Landers set up if it was not fearing the attack drop on Piloswine. So I'm going to go to my Fini as he clicks Roar again. I'm going to get Brawn to Alakazam. At this point, I know basically almost everything about his set, so I'm more comfortable just attacking the thing here. At first, I'm going to go for a regular Psychic to maintain my Magic Guard. Next turn, I'm actually going to Mega Evolve just to get the added damage off. One of the reasons I went for it in regular in the first turn is because if he didn't Protect, there was a decent chance he was just going to be switching out. And if he was going to be switching out like that, I may have just wanted to maintain my Magic Guard more. If he's staying in, I'm definitely going to want to get the gains from Mega Evolving. And I click my Psychic, get some pretty decent damage off on this thing. I'm fairly certain he's either going to Protect or switch out here, so that's my cue to click Recover here, nice and safely. He's going to bring his Jirachi. I do not have the Shadow Ball to hit this thing, so I'm going to go to my Skuntank, which is a pretty good defensive answer to it. He goes for a U-turn, not looking like it's any kind of attack investment, if I'm not mistaken. He goes into Landorus, Skuntank, not normally the Landorus answer, although I've seen some examples of the contrary. He's going to defog there as Piloswine comes in, and I am just going to get my rocks up because, of course, I end up winning that war if it does become a war. He brings in his Persian. Tapu Fini, on paper, is a pretty good answer to that thing. He subs up, a little bit fishy, but I don't have a great switch into it aside from Fini, so I'm just going to click my Moonblast and try to break the thing. He goes for a Nasty Plot, which, again, pretty fishy. But I'm going to just continue to click my Moonblast here. He's going to sub up again. Perhaps being overcautious, perhaps trying to trigger a berry. And my play, again, just continue clicking Moonblast until he goes for his Z here. And he shows off the Gigavolt Havoc, which was pretty damn interesting. Having that Z Thunder Persian is pretty damn good prep on his behalf. Since I've got the Celesteela and the Tapu Fini, so definitely props to him. That made for an interesting show. So here's something I didn't know. I didn't know Alolan Persian learned Thunder or Thunderbolt, and I thought its move was Shockwave. That's what I thought it learned. And you'd think that'd be my cue to check out the thing's moveset. No, I am just going to assume that it has shown some special attacks. It must be Technician. And since it's Technician, my play here is just to go for my Leaf Blade, because that will take it out, since it is Technician and not Fur Coat. But as my Sceptile here is going to go for a Leaf Blade, I'm going to find out that it is very much Fur Coat, and that his electric move was either Thunderbolt or Thunder. I'm assuming most likely Thunderbolt, since misses, but you never know. I'm going to go for another Leaf Blade to try to pick the thing off. He is instead going to go to Jirachi. My little dog's going crazy right now. I'm going to go for Earthquake. He's going to show off the big Papa Berry and get it all back and take down my Sceptile here. And then he's going to go into Persian. And this turn will take a little bit of explaining. I know it's got the electric move, but I also know this thing's got approximately 0 special attack. And I calced it, and Thunderbolt, which I now know it has, and not Shockwave, Thunderbolt does 33 to 40%. So my mind went, this might be... The thing with Celesteela is sometimes you get a little too patient with it. That's definitely a mistake I've seen people make, getting too patient with it, and wait until the end to get the perfect setup opportunity, and instead they lose a good setup opportunity. And my thought process was, this might be a good one. There's definitely a chance that he could just lose to this if I bring it in on Persian. So I will bring in my Celesteela here, and I will Autotomize, and he is going to go for the Thunder, and unfortunately for him will miss as I Autotomize here. And that is unfortunate for him. I'm going to click my Giga Drain to get recovery. Thunder would have done somewhere below 50%. Perhaps the biggest thing was losing the chance to paralyze, but that's the same chance as missing. I'm going to get a special attack boost, and here he's going to go into Jirachi. Now, one thing I want to say is, if you assume that he makes the same plays even if Steela is weakened and goes into Jirachi here, as I pick Jirachi off with Fire Blast, even if I was weakened at this point, it's looking like he loses to Mega Alakazam here. Because without Jirachi, Zam just kind of clicks moves and kills everything at their current health. Psychic will kill everything. But that's not the world we live in. He goes into Landorus. He goes into Nihilego. Nihilego actually is going to be faster than the Celesteela, and Thunderbolt has a chance to 2-KO it, but the rule's not quite going to go that way, so I'm going to go for another Autotomize just to become faster than it, and another Giga Drain will pick the thing off, and the Nihilego will go down there. Next up comes in the Suicune, which will exert its pressure. Suicune will again drop, and then last will come Charizard, which is going to go down to the Air Slash. So at this point, I would have moved on to 5-2, but not quite how the world works. And I also had transactions which would have been active for next week, but there will be no next week. I was going to drop Celebi, Skuntank, Livani, and Sceptile, all 4 of those mons for Amoonguss, Lycanroc, Dusk, and Whirlipede. If Lycanroc would have been a nice added offensive pressure to my team, just create another threat. Amoonguss would have filled over Skuntank's roles as a grounded poison, while also giving me a grass type that is not a crap, which Celebi is. It's not crap, doesn't have a 4 times weakness, and is also not crap. So I thought those would have been good for enhancing the team, but we shall never know. And that would be the end here. And I am going to pull up. I gotta save my econ notes, and then I'm going to pull up my KO count here to get my final stats here. Leading the team in my 7 games is going to be Celesteela, which had 17 KOs and 4 deaths. Well on its way to MVP honors. Next up, I had Heatran with only 7 KOs, far from half of what Steela has, but only 2 deaths. Alakazam was in third with 5 KOs and 2 deaths. Zygarde, Piloswine, and Skuntank were tied for next with 2 KOs. Jolteon, Duosion, and Tapu Fini all had 1. And then Celebi, Sceptile, and Leavanny were tied with 0 for the last 0. And that is all she wrote. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Despite how things went, I didn't want to do a battle for nothing and not get it up. So I hope you guys enjoyed it regardless. I want to thank you for watching. Have yourselves a good night.